I really like that. That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
I had to teach him I sent him a video recently, a screenshot video of a conversation, and he kept like tapping it and couldn't, I'm like, no, dude, you can hit play and then hit pause again and still be able to read and then hit play again so you can finish. He's like, the best, the absolute best, the best. So all right.
Is Greg Newsome going to play on Sunday?
Yeah, that's the plan right now, is to be able to continue to onboard him as much as we can through the next few days here. And seems like there is maybe some carryover from some of the terms he's used in the past, and that's kind of what that part is for the next few days, is what can he correlate from where he's been in the past, from Cleveland to here, things that may be similar that he can try to connect the dots on. So, definitely feel like he has an opportunity to play, though.
What do you like about his game?
Yeah, I think smart football player. I watched him be put in a lot of difficult downs at times this year. I mean, against some really quality opponents, and competed his tail off. Had the forced fumble, obviously, last week on the second drive of the game in run support, but feisty in defense in the pass, can stick his foot in the ground and trigger, has done a nice job, I think, finding the football. And I do believe he's got a lot of confidence as a player just in general, and I appreciate that.
How tough is it to get a guy like a matter of days?
Yeah, well, we did it with Baker, a couple of years back, which was obviously the crazy one because it's the quarterback position. So, I do think it's doable. It's just we have to be smart about, making sure we have the right calls for when he is in, and making sure we're doing things that ultimately he's comfortable with. That doesn't just hinder our defense either. Like, we're not going to change our calls because Greg's in the game. That's not how it'll go. It's just a matter of making sure we put him in a position to be successful as well.
Yeah, by difficult downs, do you prefer to strictly down and distance or red zone?
Yeah, they play a lot of they played a ton of just man free, coverage, and just say like, dude, go win and go compete. And I think they've played against some high level receivers over the first 5 games or whatever it's been for those guys. So that does take a mentality and a mindset as a corner to go and do. And then especially in like some of the red zone third downs, like those are tough. When you're going one-on-one with some of the better receivers in this league and competing at a high level, I think that those are hard downs.
When you make a trade in the middle of the season, especially with a guy that's been here a while, do you address it immediately the next morning or whatever like that with the team? Or do you
I addressed it with a lot of the guys individually, and then I did talk to the team quickly after practice, and it was just like, Tyson, unbelievable human. Like, I have a lot of respect for Tyson Campbell, and everybody else does in this building. So that wasn't one of the cultural undertones, and so it's hard. It's hard to lose a guy that everybody likes. So that's something you have to be aware of as a coach, I think, and have some conversations with the guys so that they understand fully some of the reasoning, and but also, hey, we got a job to go do. We have a game to go win, and we're trying to do what we think is best for the team and for the organization, and we have a huge opportunity this weekend.
Working through it, but the expectation is Greg basically slides into what Tyson's role was. Is he playing inside, outside?
We haven't gone that far. We're hoping he can just help us win on this Sunday coming up.
Seattle's doing an excellent job in the return game. I think they're second in punt, second in kickoff. What stands out when you watch those two units?
Yeah, they're very well coached in their special teams. They have very good effort and play. It's another great test for our special teams unit that I think is just getting better and better each week. Heath and Luke have done a really nice job. But if you look at Horton and Young, have both had huge returns on the year in their own right in both phases. So anytime you've got a dynamic returner or a guy that has shown to put it on tape to be able to create explosives in special teams, our phase has to take that personally. And I think they have for the last few weeks taken some of that stuff personally in terms of the matchups and going and winning that phase. We absolutely won that phase last weekend, and that was or the other night. That was a huge reason why we won the game. So another great test for these guys to be disciplined in their lanes, especially in the kicking game, and spreading the net when we are in some of our punts. And we're going to have to be really good on teams this week again.
How impressive is Seattle's offensive balance? It seems like they're doing a good job really in all phases of the
Yeah, a lot of, you can tell they went out, obviously made a change at the coordinator position this year, got a lot of respect from Mike McDonald as a head coach, and going out and making a decision that he wanted to find some, a little bit more balance, physical nature up front, running the football. That makes it hard on any defense when you're able to be balanced and create explosives in both the run and the pass. I think you see so much of some San Fran in there, Rams. You just see a good mix of good ball being done on their offensive side of the football, and then they've got some guys that can score from anywhere, so that helps as well.
On the special teams, how big of a boost has Ray Lane and his physicality been?
Just that guy every week makes a play. Makes it difficult, I think, maybe on our opponent to have to make a decision to double him, because if you don't, there's an opportunity that he could make the play. Relentless, he's strong, athletic, can run. Special teams makes a lot of sense to this guy. Like going out and being a physical athlete and football player that he is, he flies around. He's got an edge. Plays hard, plays tough. He brings energy to that group, and I think there's a lot of confidence for Ray right now in terms of him in himself, but also the guys in that room for a young player to kind of step up and be one of our better special teams players at the moment. I think is pretty cool for that room.
What kind of strides, if any, have you seen out of Trayvon this week in terms of dealing with the rest?
Yeah, I think we getting him out there yesterday, just moving in a more full speed pace than we were really able to do at times last week. I think that's helpful, being able to see him use it a little bit more. And although it's awkward, it's just still awkward using your hand when you don't have a hand you really use. So he's doing everything he can right now. That was really good to see yesterday. Hopefully you see another step today with more and more comfort level of using it. And they're definitely very hopeful.
Is this kind of scheduling window for you? Monday night, short week to Sunday, and then you got London right around the corner.
Yeah, I think obviously it was quick turnaround post game, so you didn't get to try to enjoy that win very long. We had to move on to the next opponent, but I think now it has settled a little bit more, right? Like when we brought the players back in this week, it was just one kind of funky day, and then we just got back right on to our normal schedule, which I think has helped all of us just take a deep breath after that game. And now you're in a normal rhythm and routine. And I addressed that, the London deal with them earlier. I go, guys, I'm going to give you a couple tidbits on information next week. And this is the last time we're talking about London until we play this game.
Besides giving Trevor Lawrence the play call into his helmet, what other information do you feel you have to give him without overloading him?
Yeah, I mean, you're more so just trying to talk a little bit situational. All right, hey, thinking maybe 4 downs here, right? Like just being smart with this decision. If I am calling a pass play, 2-minute type situational stuff. Like, hey, bud, remember we got 2 timeouts. Like during that whole sequence, or hey, we got 1 timeout, or we got no timeouts, and this is where the ball. Hey, we got to get the ball out of bounds here. Can't take a sack here. Just little notes like that you're trying to give any quarterback throughout, but also trying not to take away from him maybe not hearing something of the play call. So, that dialogue continues to grow, and you ultimately find out throughout a game. Well, I don't have to say much to him at all in these moments because we've already done this, or we've gotten to this place where we've had this conversation, or that's kind of how the dynamic works.
What have you seen from Jonah this week, getting all the...
Jonah, like all through training camp, I think had gotten better and better. Earned a lot of trust and respect around here in the building. He is prepared like a pro all throughout this process. So, and he stepped up the other night in a couple moments where we needed him to. So, if he has to be the guy, if he's going to be the guy, we got a lot of trust that that's going to be a good deal for us.
If he's the guy, if Hainsey can't go, is Makari then the backup center?
Yeah, it's, we got a couple of guys, Makari, Cole Van Lannon, a couple of guys that are taking snaps, like making sure they understand the calls and hear some of this stuff, just so that you maybe don't have to make a few other changes. But Patrick or Cole will, be that next guy.
When you look at this team played Sam Darnold last year, the Jags did. Different team, different system and all that stuff. Do you draw back on what the defense did against Sam Darnold last year, or is it like completely reframing it because it's so much newness?
Yeah, I think anytime you have maybe a good plan or compete well against a specific player or unit, you can always use that and draw back on some of that. Okay, what did help affect him? Or from a DB standpoint, all right, what would have helped me play Justin Jefferson or these guys? You can always go back and draw on some of those experiences, but very different schematically, obviously, on our side of the football now than it was. So a little bit different probably in how Campy and the defensive staff may look at it, but they'll absolutely draw on that game to look at maybe how were the ways that we were able to affect them, affect the quarterback, affect the pocket, affect the receivers. You always want to have a little bit of idea of what worked, right? And maybe something you can go back to the well on. But he's accurate. He's playing off schedule a little bit more than he probably has in the past. And then the run game balance, I think, has really helped him.
Jackson Smith and Jigbo, what stands out about his skill set and why is he such a tough cover in this
He's really
race?
smooth, but I think faster and more sudden than sometimes you would appear because he's a smooth mover. He's run by some guys. He's gotten behind the defense a few times. And then when he does give them some one-on-one opportunities down the field, if there is some coverage there, I think he's done a nice job of making plays when the ball's in the air and some one-on-one opportunities. They'll also hand him jet sweeps and end arounds and get him the ball in space. So I know Shane was a part of obviously drafting him at the time and always spoke very highly of him, his football knowledge, his ability to play inside and outside. And then he's really had a nice year so far this year.
I know this is obviously your focus on the game, but the honorary kid captain is going to be Josh's son. Just what does that mean for knowing that you, your staff, the team have been so supportive behind Josh and his family during this?
Yeah, really a cool moment for Josh and for his family and for us, because right when getting here, that was one of the first, when I had a first conversation with my first player on this team was Josh Hines-Allen. And within a 2-hour phone call conversation, he waited to the last 10 minutes to tell me about his son. And so that conversation stuck with me for a long time, made a really strong first impression on the man, the father, the husband, the player. And to see the players, the other guys in that room, not just in that room, on the whole team, support him and his family throughout this process. Really, really cool moment for us as a team and as an organization.
Coach, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks.